Took you a while?
Is that bauble from Sheila's megascope?
Mm-hmm. My final prank. I switched the diamonds. The one in the megascope has a flaw. Minute. But just large enough to warp the teleport. The Emperor's magic theorists assured me the effect would be spectacular.
I let her escape.
You're heartless. You've no idea what the Royal Witch Hunters have in store for her. A lot of pain for a long time.
I don't doubt it. So, ready to lay your cards out on the table?
No matter the game, there comes a point when all the players need to show their cards. I love that moment. But first... vodka.
Let me have.
I suppose my throat's a little dry.
In that case, let's drink to old friendships. Recovered your memory yet?
Not entirely.
Remember how we first met?
Yeah, I saved your life. Couldn't think of a nicer way to pay me back?
Frankly, I couldn't. I mean, taking care of another man's woman, Yennefer. I can't fathom what you saw in her, but I suppose there's no accounting for taste.
Memory.
Winter solstice 1270. Midinvern, the night of magic. Letho wasn't lying, the hunt had stopped. At the Hanged Man's Tree, the spectral riders selected from among those they had taken. Yennefer was among them. A wraith cannot be killed, only driven away. Every witcher knows that. Yet the riders fell beneath the blows of our witcher's blades. Crimson blood flowed from under their dead men's armor. We could not kill them all. They were simply too many. A stalemate. He was different from all other elves. There was no shame in his gaze. He had never suffered persecution. He had endured no massacres. Humans had not taken his land. This elf was not of this world. He was an invader. We struck a deal. My soul for that of Yennefer. He agreed without hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
Back with me, friend. Got the feeling you left for a minute.
Memories. I remember the Hanged Man's Tree and the Wild Hunt. I remember the exchange. Me for Yennefer.
So, cards out on the table. Unless you chase me all that way just to kill me.
I chased you for many reasons.
I chased you for lots of reasons. You owe me some explanations to start with.
Let's say I do.
Yennefer, tell me what
Tell
happened.
me about Yennefer. What happened after I departed?
She was feverish for several days. Delirious. In agony. We thought that was it. She was on her way out. Somehow she recovered. But even then she was disoriented. Amnesia like you.
What then?
Well, the woman turned out to be quite a character. Throwing temper tantrums, trying to seduce orcs, trying to drive a wedge between us. After you so nobly sacrificed yourself, you thought it'd be dumb just to leave her somewhere. She wouldn't have survived more than a month. The whims and vigor of a duchess, but she was just a sorceress with no memory. We were in the heart of the Empire. And as I'm sure you know, Geralt, in Nilfgaard, mages who behave like that either drop their bad habits quickly, or are drawn and quartered by horses in the middle of Victory Square.
So I heard.
So we set out, wandered through the provinces. Everywhere we went, she got in trouble and we pulled her out. And then one day they captured us. The Imperial Secret Police. Me,
Secret
Ox,
police.
Sarret, and Yennefer.
Imperial Secret Police?
Mm-hmm. We were separated, and they questioned us. long and thoroughly, but it was uneventful, no violence. That's how I met Vatia de Rideau.
Ah,
A
Vatia.
couple of weeks later, the Emperor himself. Me. A simple witcher.
What happened to Yennefer?
I don't know. Never saw her again. The Emperor offered me a mission in the Northern Kingdoms. As for Yennefer, I had the feeling she was somehow important to Emir. As I see it, they learned of the Lodge from her. Those Imperial spooks have their ways. All I heard is that Vatir had his men watch Yennefer closely throughout the time she was at the palace. And he went off to slay the kings of the North. That's where my knowledge ends.
So she's in the Empire.
She was when I left.
Riders will hunt.
How did you know where we'd find the Wild Hunt?
Every witcher who wears the viper around his neck knows the place. We had so many books and scrolls about the hunt that I used to think our school was founded for the very purpose of solving the riddle of the Spectral Riders.
Know who they are? You know the true identities of the Riders?
From what I understand, they're some damn elven race. But they turned out to be a big ruse. The legendary Omen War proved to be a fairground attraction.
No Market Square mage could possibly conjure up a cavalcade of wraiths speeding across the sky. Then there's the amnesia. No, there's something more, I assure you.
Go ahead and enlighten me. I can tell you want to.
There are a lot of legends and myths about it, but the Wild Hunt is a fact. I've fought and killed many of its wraiths. They were spectral emanations, the avatars of real riders. The riders we ran into by the Hanged Man's Tree.
Are you telling me you were carried off by elves? Real material sons of bitches like the ordinary kind we deal with in this world?
They may be ordinary in their world, but they're strangers in ours. The conjunction of spheres. Know the theory? Do you know how monsters appeared in our world?
There's not a witcher who doesn't know that.
So you know there are other spheres. The most powerful of our mages can open passages between these worlds, and they usually do that to summon the monsters we then have to hunt. The elves we saw come from another world, and they weren't summoned. They found the way on their own. It's not exactly easy, so they usually send their spectral emanations. They come in person on special missions.
As they did for you and Yennefer. So, elves from another world and their trained wraiths. What do they want from you?
I've got an idea, but that's not your concern.
Why?
How did a witcher agree to kill humans at another human's bidding?
At the Emperor's bidding, Geralt. And he's no ordinary human. The rulers of the North come up to about where his Pauline's end.
Why?
Simple. He promised to rebuild the School of the Viper, the Witcher's order where I came from. Witcher's schools in the south fell into ruin long ago, and Witchers themselves became internal exiles, banned from entering most cities. Besides Seret and Ox, I know of 2 other Witchers of the School of the Viper who should be alive and on the path.
Well, Sarah and Ox are
I
dead.
don't know where they are. Haven't seen them for years. Now they can come out of hiding. They can come home.
Why are you still here? Why did you wait for me this time?
I knew you wouldn't give up. I knew you'd pursue me. And I don't aim to hide anymore. Fact is, only you know the truth about me. Well, and a couple of folks whose word isn't worth spit anymore. I never saw you as a foe. I want to go my way. But if I have to fight you first, so be it. This story ends here and now.
What was it all about? What was the aim?
Care to tell me what it was all about?
Kill as many rulers as we could. Lay the blame on the sorceresses. Breed chaos. Prepare the north. Soften it before the invasion. And you know what's incredible? We could not have imagined more fertile soil. No matter what the war's outcome, the northern monarchs will accuse one another, pursue their God-given rights, seek vengeance and be at each other's throats for years to come. The north resembles a whorehouse on fire, as your friend Dandelion would say.
I need to hold the whole picture. Wait.
Get it?
Oh my god, there's still more. Jesus. Okay. How did you find Seele?
How did you manage to contact Sheila?
It wasn't a problem once I learned of the lodge's
I guess it's kind of
existence.
like the freaking
Initially,
parlor
she
scene.
watched my every move, but sooner or later, everyone starts treating me like a big oaf. I mean, I can't change how I look. I stayed close to Sheila, killed a few beasts for her, whined about how unhappy I was, how unfair the world was. So much, in fact, that I actually got her gander up a few times. I made sure a few potentially trustworthy witnesses saw us together, could link us. Security in case I was captured. I also prepared to assassinate the King of Kavir. Esterad Tyson was to be the first victim of the mysterious assassins. But before I could do the dirty deed, Sheila asked me to slay Demavend. The gods had smiled upon me. I couldn't believe my luck. Here I've been trying to figure out how to frame Sheila. And now all I needed was to carry out her orders and follow through.
How'd you learn about the lodge?
Where'd you get your information about the lodge?
From the Emperor and Vatir de Rideau, the Emperor's chief spy. And I believe they got it out of Yennefer.
She recovered her memory?
Nah. I'd never claim she informed on her friends consciously. I expect they found a way to tap into her memory in spite of her amnesia, and without her knowing it. There was a sorcerer present when I was questioned. A young, proud intelligence officer. Whatever the case, they gave me a list of the sorceresses in the lodge. Only Emir, Vatir, and I were present. Only we knew of the mission.
How did you kill Demavend?
How do you manage to slay Demavend?
Sheila's magic. I mean, she could give us the king's every move. His habits, the positions of the palace guards, anything. All we had to do was navigate the labyrinth and land the final blow. Besides, she had plenty of gold for the preparations. Greased palms abundantly. It had all the makings of a cakewalk, but it's never that easy. We barely avoided our pursuers, and we wouldn't have if not for Yorveth Scoia'tael, another of Sheila's ideas. With Yorveth's elves, not only did we cut down Demavend, but traveling with them put us out of the Lodge's reach. We could calmly plan Foltest's and Hensel's assassinations.
How did you know Foltest would get to the Solar?
How did you know Foltest would come to the monastery's Solar?
Yorveth and I planned Foltest's murder. The King of Temeria would have to deal with the Lavalette sooner or later, and he made no secret of it. I was sure he'd want to recover his bastard children in the process. And where do they take the children when a castle's under siege? I had to become a monk, but I couldn't just arrive at the monastery and claim I'd seen the light. Not very believable. So one of Arion's patrols out in the forests happened on a Scoia'tael unit torturing a helpless monk. Arion's brave men drove off the elves and I found shelter in the monastery.
No one noticed you had no wounds?
I paid the monk who treated me a lot of orange to stay silent. Actually, it was only a loan, because I killed him later. Only the dead can keep a secret. Then all I had to do was wait for the situation to develop. When I saw you enter the chamber with Foltest, I thought I might fail. Luckily, you failed to recognize an old friend.
You wanted to take over Yorva's unit?
When did you decide to get rid of Yorvith?
As soon as I realized I couldn't manipulate him, the true fox that one. He was so observant, so dangerous. I got the sense he might see through me at any moment.
You made a mistake. You were untouchable as long as the Scoia'tael were protecting you.
Maybe, but with Yorveth, my hands were tied. If I'd finished off Kieran,
But you didn't. And that allowed me to drive a wedge between you and Yorvith. I forced you to flee.
and I let you live, you know I could have killed you. You're forgetting.
No, I don't remember. So Sheila was looking for you when she came to Flotsam.
Mm-hmm. She thought she was still in control and wanted to get rid of me. I'd bet my eyes that she thought I'd lost my mind, or that Yorveth was manipulating me.
And the North descended deeper into chaos.
Exactly. There was just one problem. You. I could have killed you in the Elven ruins. Thing is, you weren't really my enemy.
Shame you didn't take a shot at Henselt yourself. History might have taken a different turn.
Maybe I would have killed him. Maybe you would have killed me. Who knows? But Henselt's death, although desirable, wasn't necessary anymore. The plan could go forward without it. Besides, somebody else got him.
You know who?
Come on. We both know.
Yennefer in the Wild Hunt. Oh, well, let's finish this.
Done talking. Let's finish this.
Wanna fight?
Any vodka left in that bottle?
A swig apiece. Here. The Imperial army is probably crossing the Yaruga as we speak. Pure pandemonium will ensue. The North's finished. Time to go south, where the good life awaits.
You're a fool, Letho. Both you and your Emperor are forgetting one thing. Misfortune brings people together. Very shortly, the North could be united like never before, thanks to you. But that's just not my concern anymore.
I'm not your foe. I never was. Let me walk away and I will. You'll never see me again. Force me to fight. And this time I'll kill you.
So, the first time I played this game, I got here. In my head, I was like, I have to fight him. Because all these problems were caused by him. Like, the only reason why I'm considered a Kingslayer, and, you know, like, I just had to kill him. But, you know, now that I've played all the games and read all the books and all that, he literally was used as a pawn. And, like, Geralt being there with Foltest getting framed was really not Letho's intention. He didn't want Geralt to get framed. It just so happened Geralt was there and he got framed. And so I'm just gonna leave him alive.
Learned all I wanted to know. I can feel the memories coming back. Your death won't change a thing. Go where you will.
Just like that. No threats. No words of wisdom.
You going or not?
Farewell, Geralt.
And my playthrough is basically the canon. I mean, the more or less canon going forward into The Witcher 3. The North is disarray, as much as disarray as possible. Mages are hated and hunted. And yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Like, I think the Saskia version of the, like, I mean, you could import any save to the game, but the most canon of choices seems to be what I've done. Except for Letho and Celia, which is completely optional. But sorceresses are hunted. That happens. The North knows that the Lodge killed the kings. Hansel being dead wasn't really required, but considering that Radovid basically kills him if he's not dead, for some reason, basically in between games, Radovid attacks Kedwin and wins the fight, and I think, actually, I can't remember if that. Either way, Radovid owns the army of the North in the next game. Like, there is literally no
Witcher traveled far
kings,
and wide in search of the Kingslayers.
essentially.
In Flotsam, he slew Bernard Laredo, but few mourned for the Commandant. Flotsam remained to Marion, while command of the garrison and town went to a Vizima noble, a sworn enemy of Kedwin and an avid angler. To this day, folk gather around bonfires in Lobenden to hear of the Witcher's deeds. The Witcher witnessed a great Kedweni victory in Edirn. At Vergen, Henselt's army crushed Saskia the Dragonslayer's motley force, ending the springtime of races. Soldiers of the Unicorn swarmed over the Pontar Valley. As it had before, powerful Kedwen swallowed Upper Edirn whole. Yet subsequent events would render Henselt's triumph short-lived. With Foltest slain, Temeria's barons began to vie for the throne. Many dreamt of donning the crown, yet none could assemble the allies required to snatch it. The kingdom's last hope, as it teetered at the edge of civil war, lay in Little Anais. Natalis was named regent and ruled the land, yet the girl was the living symbol of the realm's salvaged unity. A tempest descended on the north, at least partly the work of manipulative mages. It seemed the turmoil in Temeria, Edirn, and Kedwen would benefit them most. Common folk turned against sorceresses and all magic freaks, witchers included.
Yep.
Castles that had hitherto welcomed mavens of the magic arts now shut their gates to any who sought shelter there. A witch hunt ensued. It was a time of great uncertainty, of rape accomplished by royal decree. Yet as troubled as the days seemed, we, who had in some way shaped the world's fate, finally received some respite. Zoltan resumed the quest for his beloved's hand, and I laid my head in a lap of
God damn it.
Who could have known this tempest which had ravaged the north was but a harbinger of darker days, and the preamble to an entirely new tale of Geralt of Rivia.
I didn't kill that guy, though. Oh, yeah, I never actually met Arian. He was there, I just didn't talk to him. So yeah, I'm glad the game's over. If you watched from the beginning to the end, you know how really salty I got. I like to give little fictional rewards to people who finished a whole series from the beginning to the end. I think we're gonna go with the School of the Viper for this, the Medallion of the Viper. So yeah, one day I'll have them all as little like badges that I could give or sell or something. I don't know. Probably just give because, you know, if you meet me, I just be like, here you go. If you ask for it, just like, yeah, here you go. But yeah, this has been a topsy-turvy thing. I thought I'd enjoy it more because I, you know, was taking my time with it, you know, listening and listening to every single dialogue that I cared to listen to, reading as much as the information that I could, you know, just getting into the lore. And I loved those parts. Like every part I had options of just listening to this world, I loved, but fighting enemies was god awful. Any time I didn't have to control Geralt was god awful. Like, I wish they could remaster this game. Like, you know, there's so many games that are being remastered. Like, I would love if you remastered this game to make it better, because then I'd probably like it way more than I do. I'm not sure what game I'll be playing after this. I'm still playing Fallout 3. It seems like it's gonna be one of my triple-digit series because I'm not even far away done, and I'm already at like part 40. And I still have to do DLC and all that. This seems like this would be like around 60 parts, maybe 50 parts, depending how I split it. I might play another fantasy game just to wet my palate, or cleanse my palate. Not sure which game. Maybe Dragon Age. Maybe something else. I don't know. You know me, I like to have the credits roll till the end because these people deserve it. You know, they made this game. Yeah. I definitely want to come back to this on either dark mode or, you know, maybe just normal mode. But definitely, like, I don't know, I felt like dark mode was easier. I like, going back to when I first played this, I didn't have any problems with it, you know? And then the second time I played it, I did, you know, I started seeing the cracks, and then, you know, the more I played, the more it kind of, you know, just started to give me a bad taste. Like, when I first played it, I'm like, I still like the first one. Then I played it again, because this game literally needs to be played twice. You can't play this game once. Like, you could try, but then you have questions. Like, what the hell was that dragon? Or if you didn't see the dragon, what the hell happened here? What happened there? Because this game has two paths, and you literally need to experience both paths to get the whole story. And I find, like, you learn more on the Yorvith path, but in the end, there's also stuff on the Roach path that you wouldn't understand. Like, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't see, what happens with, Ox and, Sherrit. I think that's her name. I can't remember. Serret? Yeah, Serret and Ox. You wouldn't see that, and you wouldn't know why there was a real, you wouldn't know the details of, like, why there was a fog in Vergen, stuff like that. You wouldn't know, hell, if you did go down the Yorvith path, you wouldn't know why the North is in a turmoil in the third game, like, if you didn't play the Roach path, because there's a lot of stuff on the, like, Roach path that kind of determines that. But yeah, I definitely want to jump into The Witcher 3, but I feel like that's a big long series that I'm currently in Fallout 3, which is also going to be a big long series, and I don't know if Fallout New Vegas is going to be a big long series, but I feel like it might be, so I don't know when I'll do The Witcher 3, but when I do, it's going to be probably the longest on the channel. So, you know, I'm just going to hold off on that, take a break from The Witcher. Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to let the credits roll to the finish, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you all for watching. Hope you stick around for the next recording I do, and I shall see you then. Bye-bye!